Michael Shalik here with SEScoops.com. My guest at this time is Brodie Lee. He challenges for the AEW World Championship this Saturday night at Double or Nothing. Thank you for joining me.
You're welcome. I apologize for my lack of suit and tie. It's out being dry cleaned right now after last night. So I just wanted to begin with a little bit of an apology.
It's very weird to see you like this, but I'll manage. So first question here. You went from your time in a previous organization where I think everybody agrees that you were underutilized, and now that you've joined AEW, you're right in the mix of the world title picture,
right,
headlining a pay-per-view. What does that mean to you? That must be very gratifying.
It's very gratifying. It's awesome. It's exactly what I wanted, exactly what I craved, exactly what I desired. So it's kind of, it's everything I ever wanted it to be. So now the pressure becomes on me because this is what I asked for. This is what I told people I could do. So now the pressure is on me to either put up or shut up. So there's an added pressure, but also I believe that pressure will help make me better. And I'm not afraid of the pressure.
It's great. You don't seem like a guy that's easily intimidated. So you made your debut in AEW during this current weird time that we're all living in. On the wrestling side, it's the empty arena era, whether it's the matches or delivering promos, there's no crowd to play off of. What is that like, coming off of big, packed crowds, which I know AEW will have as soon as they can, but that's got to be different.
And that's kind of one of the things I was most looking forward to. I was supposed to make my debut in Rochester, New York on March 18th. They had a really good pre-sale crowd there. And then the next week would be in New Jersey, which I think they had 12,000 tickets sold there. So I was looking to jump right into the huge aspect of AEW and the fans and the passion. And unfortunately, of course, that turned out to be too good to be true because everything happened on March 11th, right before my debut. But I was told, you don't have to debut. You can wait. We can push it back. But at the same time, nobody knew how long that would be. And I'd been caged up in a stray cat for so long and just kind of left out that I was ready to be a professional wrestler again. I was ready to be a performer again. I was ready to work on my craft. And there was no hesitation in me at all to jump right into it. And Tony, like I said, Tony gave me the option to hold it off. But I think me and Matt Hardy were on the same page. We're ready to hit the ground running.
That's great. What are your early impressions? I know, again, everything has an asterisk with the current circumstances, but what are your impressions just of the way that things work behind the scenes? I mean, from a fan's perspective and what we hear from the company is that it's less scripted. The talent is given a lot more leeway, and there's a lot of faith put in the talent of, here's your bullet points, play your music, as Cody likes to say. What's the vibe behind the scenes in that respect?
That's exactly it. There's a lot of collaboration, but it's a lot of, friendly collaboration. It's not like, hey, do this. It's, hey, what do you think of this idea? And then if I don't like it, I tell them. And it's a conversation, and we go from there, and we move forward with the collaboration and kind of a thing that we put together. And same thing with promos. It's like there's no written script. It's like, here's the kind of the point we need to get across. You say how you want to say it. This is your character. You're fleshing out the character the way you want to, which is incredibly refreshing because I was never able to flesh out a character for the past. I was a very one-dimensional character. I said in my promo, I think it was 2 weeks ago, was the first time I'd spoken on a live mic at a professional wrestling show in the past 8 years, like almost combined. So, again, there's a certain pressure to it because it's on you now. There's no one left to blame. You can't say, hey, the writer wrote this and it sucked, and there's no Vince to say, hey, you didn't say this word. So, again, it's a different element, but it's a very cool creative element that helps you sleep at night.
Definitely. So you mentioned just now that Tony gave you the option to postpone your debut, but you wanted to just jump right into it because who knows when these opportunities present themselves. Do you feel that AEW has done some of that long-term storytelling tweaks because of the circumstances? Were they on certain tracks that about that things had to get just put on hold?
I think certain things with people not being able to be there maybe got put on hold. I'm not privy to that information. I know that Jon Moxley presented us a situation for me to jump at, and that's what I did. So I can't worry about hurt feelings about people that didn't show up to the show and didn't get the opportunity. I can't worry about that. I can only worry about myself. But that said, hopefully the way I handled things and the way that I performed changed some people's minds as well, if I wasn't supposed to be in this position.
Yeah, times of chaos often create opportunity, as I'm sure you know.
Really great quote.
Are you still a New York guy, or are you living down
So
south?
we moved to Tampa in July.
Gotcha. So
Yeah,
that makes getting to the tapings doable.
Yeah, it's actually wonderful. About 3 hours away, and we got away from New York taxes and a New York winter.
Yeah, that's probably in my future too. I'm from Manhattan right now, so one day.
Oh boy.
Yeah, one day. So Saturday night, you're gonna be working with Jon Moxley.
Absolutely.
How have you been training for that fight, and what's your strategy going into it?
It's a lot of cardio right now. So having not been in the ring for the better part of a year almost. I mean, I think I had 7 matches last year in WWE and maybe 3 at the end of the year, and then 0. And I've had 1 match over 3 minutes this year. So it's a lot of cardio. It's a lot of preparing myself for a long battle. I know exactly what Jon Moxley is going to bring. He's very violent. He likes to punch you in the face right away. So I think that'll snap me out of any kind of, slumber I might be in real quick. And I know he's going to bring a level of violence that I have to be prepared for. And I am prepared for that because I'm not afraid of the violence. Before I left the house on Tuesday, my wife told me, you and Jon Moxley scare me. And so I think I think she knows, and hopefully the fans know that when we link it up, it's going to be something, I guess, terrible is a good description.
Yeah, I had the chance to interview Moxley a couple of weeks ago, and one of my big takeaways from our chat, he was telling me that when he goes into a match, a fight, he is laser focused on his opponent. He's not looking at the crowd. He's not looking for reactions. He's not trying to ham it up and entertain anybody. He's just like, he wants to kill the guy. So I think
that's the thing. Like, when you're being threatened, I mean, he's already threatened my career. He's threatened my livelihood. So now he's going to try to do it with physical harm. So I have to be prepared for that and almost come back with a special. And I know I have the size advantage. I maybe have the agility advantage. He probably thinks he's a little bit more violent than me, but I mean, there's definitely something wrong up here. So
yeah. Well, styles make fights, and both of you guys have a very physical style. It's going to be a real slugfest. The other company recently released a lot of talent, a lot of people that are already reinventing themselves, and people are speculating where they're going to wind up.
Right.
Is there anybody that has become a free agent or will soon be a free agent that you'd like to work with again, that you think would be a good fit for AEW? Erick Rowan, for one.
Yeah. I think Erick's a wonderful human being. He's a wonderful father, which is strange to say if you look at him. But he's a great. We weren't always the best of friends early on in our tenure together, but we became really great friends by the end. And somehow we always seem to find each other, at least for the last 8 years. I think it's going to be very refreshing to him and a guy like Zack Ryder, Matt Cardona. I think it's going to be very refreshing to them to be out of that bubble and to understand now the freedom that they have creatively, like Ryder especially, who's done it before on his own.
Yeah,
he's one of the most creative people you'll ever meet. And I think now, as soon as I was released, it became it's almost a weight off your shoulders. And WWE gives you so much, but again, as soon as it's over, it's almost either panic or opportunity arises, and it can be both. But you have to learn to adjust and take it in as it comes. And I think it's going to be an adjustment period, but very quickly you understand, like, hey, this is really cool. I can do things like I used to do on the independents. And now I'm an independent again. And so, yeah, I think Erick Rowan's almost tailor-made for a Japan run. And I don't know if we'll ever find each other over there, because that'd be pretty cool. Or if we'll find each other in AEW, who knows? I think there's going to be a lot of opportunities for these guys.
Excellent. So the Dark Order. Tell me how you first became associated with this group.
I've known Evil Uno and Stu Grayson for the better part of 15 years. We've worked together in promotions like C4 and Chikara, and in upstate New York, actually, too. So I've known them. we've been in contact. I've been in contact with them the entire time they've been in AEW. Been watching what they do. And it was just a good almost piece for me to jump in and to try to take something to the next level. Unfortunately, since I've been here, I've seen Uno and Grayson once in the past 2 months, just because they're from Canada and haven't been able to get across the border yet. But I think once we're back together, people will understand and see like what a formidable unit we are together. And I think there's tons of options for matches for all of us, tags, 6-man, singles for me. So everything's a refreshing matchup, and I think the Dark Order is going to be a very cool prospect moving forward.
Yeah, I think the vignettes and the just the overall character development for the faction has been top notch.
I think it's kind of gone in waves of people love it, people hate it, people love it, people hate it, and like I always say, you know, everyone's more than welcome to their opinion. That's how we operate here. But I think it's more positive than anything. So.
Yeah, and I think that AEW has enough equity with the fans to give us a little time, let us tell this story, you know.
Right.
Elsewhere, it's not like that. Elsewhere, you see somebody with a little glimmer of potential, and it's like, do I even want to invest in this?
Right, and you also notice a lot of fans will take one performance, and that's what they judge you on for a long, long time. So I'm still battling 8 years of people either despising me or thinking of a certain way of me, and I think it's a hard adjustment to go back the other way, and it's up to me to prove that to them, though.
Are you, aside from your, you know, it's Wednesday, you know what that means stuff, are you a social media guy? Like, do you follow Reddit, Twitter, and do you get in the mud there?
Reddit is a little too much for me. I don't understand it. My wife has shown me things on Reddit, and I just don't. It's too much. I love Twitter, Instagram to a point. That's a lot of. It's a little too many pictures of food and people working out, which I don't get why people care about that, but that's how the world works. But I am a big Twitter guy. I love hockey Twitter and stuff like that.
Cool. Can you tell me a little bit about what your training is? I know you had mentioned right now doing a lot of cardio. I know we've definitely seen you trim up and lean out over the years, especially in more recent months. What's like your favorite way to train? Do you do CrossFit? Do you do more, you know, what's your ideal workout?
I despise CrossFit. I've been working with Rob McIntyre in Tampa in his backyard with a very bare bones setup. I go there about 4 or 5 times a week, and it's a lot of heavy weights, a lot more squats and stuff like that lately, which is not my favorite, but is also necessary to build a foundation. And again, a lot of cardio, a lot of sprinting, a lot of rower machine and stuff like that. And Rob will just suggest something and I'll say, okay, let's do it. And he knows better than me. So I've kind of been following it's almost been like a weird training camp where we've been preparing for something like this. And now the opportunity arose, and we knew for the past 4 or 5 weeks that this date's coming. So we're going to peak at the right time.
Got it. Are you strict with your nutrition in general? Like, some guys can just look great without even have to worry about it. Some people are very measured out.
If I eat poorly and I drink a lot of vodka, it turns to shit very, very quickly.
That's how I am too.
I've had to be a little bit more strict. I've cut the alcohol out just to maybe up my aggression factor for the next few weeks and few days. But I think Saturday night, some will be ingested.
Definitely. Maybe a celebratory drink afterwards.
Yeah, absolutely.
So AEW has so much great young talent, guys like MJF, Darby Allin, Jungle Boy, Sammy Guevara. Who are some of the guys, even before you started working with AEW, that you had your eye on, like, either I want to work with them and have them join the Dark Order, or I want to work against these guys?
I've been asked this a few times, and I always give an answer that involves so many people. And I don't want to come off like I'm saying, oh, the entire roster is awesome. But like it's almost every person on the roster is a fresh matchup for me. And at the top of my list would be Kenny and the Young Bucks. Like, watch them work. Been friends with the Young Bucks for a long time. I've always told them that they had these unbelievable matches in Japan. I always watched, and it'd be a thrill to get in there and to test myself against guys like that. Darby Allin, a guy like that, a guy like Jungle Boy, even people like the Proud and Powerful would be they're fun to me to watch. I think they're wonderful workers. And Jericho, Cody, So these people even I have history with, Sean Spears even, these guys I have history with too, to now do it in a different environment is very appealing to me.
Awesome. What is the
I take
ultimate?
that back. Anybody but Sean Spears, if you could put that quote in, because I know
Okay,
he'll
we'll
be
make that the headline.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll shit on him a little bit. What is the end game for the Dark Order? Is it to have all the championships in AEW? Is it to just humiliate anybody that doesn't line up with your ideology? What is the end game? What are you guys looking to do?
So I don't want to be a violent organization. That's not my MO, but it kind of becomes a necessity when you're in the professional wrestling world. And to me, you enter the professional wrestling world to have power, and what power equals in professional wrestling is world titles and tag team championships and TNT championships now. So I think our goal is to collect gold and to be a force to be reckoned with. I know the Elite claims to be the Elite. They named a freaking promotion after themselves. So to me, it's almost like now you're at the top. You put it like, just like Jon Moxley, you put a mark on your head. And us as a group, we think we're better than that. And we think that we're powerful. We want power. We want the glory. And world championships, TNT championships, and tag championships are always in our future.
Awesome. And just one last question. I know I think Tony Schiavone asked this to you this week, and you didn't really take it too well, but I'll take another crack at it. How is the Dark Order not a cult?
So who do you work for?
SEScoops.com.
Yeah. Do you have a boss?
I do.
Would you consider what you do to be part of a cult?
No, I work hard. I get a fair pay for it, and everyone's happy.
So then what is the difference between what you're doing in your line of work and what we're doing in our line of work?
Well, I mean, it seems like the Dark Order tries to, like, I don't want to say prey upon, but really seek out the disenfranchised and the down and out type of people. So,
I mean, that's a strong possibility, but the thing is, we're making those people better in the long run. I mean, I'm undefeated. Uno and Stu are undefeated. Preston was undefeated until last night. So, I mean, I don't understand. I mean, I think results speak for themselves. I don't understand what difference a successful organization with a wonderful leader like myself would make it a cult. I don't understand that. And Tony Schiavone was given clear instructions. And I understand you were probably not given the same instructions, so I'll give you the benefit of the doubt on this one. But Schiavone was given clear instructions not to ask that question. And they actually cut out 2 other times that he brought it up and left the third one in there. And the way they cut it, of course, they left my little tantrum in there, which I wasn't thrilled about. But hey, I thought I got my message across. And again, I don't understand. I asked Tony this too. He works for many corporations, and they're not considered cults. So I don't understand what the difference is.
All right. Well, I'm thankful right now to have a couple thousand miles between us. Thank you so much for your time. This Saturday night, Brodie Lee, Jon Moxley, AEW World Championship, Double or Nothing. Again, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for all the entertainment. It's a pleasure, and best of luck to you.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it.